What is up, everyone? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we'll be reacting to NASCAR's 7.7 billion TV deal. I'm looking forward to getting into this. This was requested by one of my Patreon members. In terms of, like, you guys were trying to tell me last year, like, the moves between Fox and, like, NBC and all of that, but, like, it doesn't really affect me in the UK because, like, I watch all the races on Premier Sports. So, like, it would happen during the streams when you guys would go to, like, commercial on like Premier Sports. They're still showing the race, but just, like, no one's talking. So I'd know that you guys were on, like, commercial. So the whole, like, switch between some races are going to NBC and some more races are going to Fox and blah, 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 whatever the heck is going on. It doesn't really affect me, but it's interesting to see what is going on anyway. And I hope that this video gives me more insight into whatever this 7.7 billion TV deal is. So I'm just going to shut up and we'll get straight into it.
NASCAR has set their future for the next 7 years. From 2025 to 2021, the new TV partners are out. And at this point, well, it's kind of a question of what's really good about it and what's really bad about it. So let's jump right into this. Starting out, we had the rumors coming out that Fox was going to have 14 races, NBC would have 14 races, and TNT and Prime would split the middle 10 or so. And that is exactly what happened. NASCAR for the Cup Series has signed a $7.7 billion deal for 7 years. That's a lot of money. And honestly, it's kind of complicated for fans. I get that a lot of people's member berries are hit with the TNT news and everything like that, but I do think for Cup racing fans, this may be a very big net negative. But the teams will get more money, so you won't hear anyone complaining about it. Starting out, we're going to look at Fox. Now, Fox is going to have the Daytona 500 every year, as was probably expected. There's really no way they were going to have a deal like they did in 01 to 06, where they flipped it with NBC, and that's to be expected. It's probably good to have the biggest race of the year consistently on one network, as long as Fox actually puts a bit more effort and time into these races. The problem is that the schedule right now does not line up for the Coke 600 to be on a big network, but instead be on streaming or a cable network. And the other big problem is that there are 5 races on Big Fox and 9 on FS1. Now, these races also include more than likely the All-Star race, as well as for sure the Busch Clash. But the problem is the All-Star race could also be moved out to a TNT or Amazon, depending on how the 2025 schedule is made out. But 5 races on Big Fox is basically slashing in half the amount of races on normal network TV, and instead basically keeping the cable side the same and actually upping the amount of cable races that Fox puts on. NASCAR races on cable have went up this year, but in general, they're a lot lower when it comes to viewership compared to, say, a Fox, an NBC. And this is probably going to spell really low ratings starting in 2025, lower viewership in general, which may start some more problems for NASCAR sponsorship and then teams' bottom lines, even if they do get more money out of this deal. Add to that, then after this, you have Prime is going to have the next 5 races after Fox and be the first time NASCAR Cup Series races are exclusively streamed only and not on any television network whatsoever. Now, worldwide,
I don't know if that one will affect me. I'll have to check.
And that number is sure to go up in the coming years.
Like, will I have to watch it on Prime?
They currently have 150 million members in the United States as of 2021, which is about 46% of the U.S. population. And this is projected to be anywhere between 170 and 180 million users as of 2025, meaning about 52% of the U.S. Now, that's pretty good, honestly, even compared to normal network television, and I don't think this part of the schedule is going to be as much of a problem as many think it will be. Actually, when you look at Thursday Night Football, their ratings have been up this year, and people also need to remember about Amazon is that they own and have Twitch at their disposal, and they use Twitch when it comes to their Thursday night football coverage. They put it on there. You don't even have to have an account to watch it. And it's basically free television on the internet at that point.
Yeah,
so even if you don't have a Prime account, you may still be able to watch NASCAR races if by then they do accept that route to go on. Also, Amazon and Prime will get all but a select amount of qualifying and practice sessions, meaning qualifying and practice more than likely.
I was going to say, does it include quali and the practice as well?
The hardcore user base of NASCAR fans on these services. I honestly wouldn't be surprised if in 2032 with the next deal, if Amazon got a majority of the races with the way that they're going right now,
as a bit far ahead there.
Ratings went up with that. Then you have 5 races with Turner Warner, and this will be a simulcast of HBO Max as well as TNT. So TNT will be returning, and this is another one that I think, at least in the short term, probably will be a bit of a dip, but I think can be a gain in the long term. TNT is in more homes than the USA Network, at least as of a year and a half ago. And in general, their programming is viewed 33% more than that of USA Network as of the stats given by Yahoo Entertainment. This will probably be a really big boost for some of those summer races and really help leading up to the playoffs, at least for when NBC comes back. With that as well, I would say that you're probably going to have some pretty good production put behind it, as I don't think they would jump back in just to half-ass it like they did from 2007 to 2014. And when you add the fact that TNT Sports has a good amount of sports programming with a younger audience, you can see where NASCAR's brain is with this one. So I'd say so far, if you're looking at these first 24 races, including all-star races and the Clash, I would say that it's a mixed bag so far.
Yeah.
The problem is that you're ending the year, in my opinion, on a very down note with the way that NBC has scaled everything back. NBC, at the moment, has 39 NASCAR races on its networks from Cup
crazy.
And Xfinity. But the Xfinity series is going to the CW, so that takes all those out. And they're going from 20 NASCAR Cup Series races as of 2024 to 14 total on their networks in 2025.
No way. That's like...
Now, NBC is always bigger when it comes to its events. If you look at Sunday Night Football, they have one event a week, and it's the best production value, announcing everything that they can throw at it. So I'm hoping that's the direction they go with NASCAR. And I wouldn't be surprised if they push races like Indy, Darlington, Talladega, and the finale as their big races everyone needs to tune in for. Now, why did I list those four off? Because there will only be 4 on the NBC network and 10 on the USA network, meaning that we're going down again in total to 9 network television races. In my opinion, what this is going to lead to is diminishing returns for NASCAR and lower ratings, but hey, they got the bag, so they won't complain about it.
I was going to say,
the only ones that'll be hurt by it are the longtime fans and really any new fans, because in all honesty, looking at the Fox and NBC side, and this is the part where I think as a fan, I'm most disappointed, nobody under the age of 30 cares about cable anymore, and it's shown directly by the younger audience. I know NASCAR is probably thinking by having streaming options, maybe they'll up that younger audience, but if I'm a fan that's just getting into it, I don't want to search 5 or 6 different places throughout the year to get a race.
It's a fair point.
If you're looking at what they do now, there are 4 current channels between Fox, FS1, NBC, and USA.
That's just ridiculous.
And before that, there were 4 channels on the previous deal as well, with Fox, TNT, ESPN, and ABC, and then 4 on the previous deal before that with Fox, FX, TNT, and NBC. Now, you have to go to 6 different ones.
6?
Fox, FS1, Amazon, TNT.
If I was in the US, I'd be like, it's too much work.
NBC and USA.
I can't be bothered.
And NASCAR fans are creatures of habit. They are ones
which makes sense, what you said about the younger fans.
Slow I just wouldn't. That's just how the fan base is, and you've seen it from deal to deal. Outside of the big explosive one in 2001, there has never been a viewership increase from deal to deal, and I do not see that happening in 2025. And with the 7-year deal, at least it's short enough that they'll be able to be flexible with the races and be able to maybe have a better deal come 2031. But honestly, I doubt it at this point, because Clearly, NASCAR went for the bag, and they got it, especially when you add in the CW deal. They're going to be making more money. There's no word at the moment of the truck series, though it's pretty much assumed it'll stay on Fox.
They're going to be back on FS1 again.
So they will be making more money, and maybe the teams will as well. But the fans, in my opinion, are the big losers on this long term, because NASCAR and the partners did not really go towards one direction. You could stay on the TV route and maybe make some extra money there, or maybe just try and get that audience you have now to build up and then have streaming options in the future, or you go full on into streaming and just say, screw it, we're going to bite the bullet, do it now, and maybe we'll see long-term gains. But instead, they tried to ride the fence, and now it's going to just be
now they're doing a mix of both
for people to keep everything
and it's just confusing
because you basically will have 3 or 4 months of Fox, a month of Amazon, a month of TNT, and then 3 or 4 months of NBC.
Too much jumping around.
To now where it's just you switch right in the middle. Listen, I know it's probably sounding like me complaining. I'm just thinking as a fan and as somebody who really wants to see the sport succeed, I don't think that this is the right direction.
No, it doesn't sound it.
Cable heavy.
No fan wants to sit and jump around.
Cable loses about 3 to 4 million
and pay for different streaming platforms throughout the year just to watch the races.
And really kind of hedging your bets on cable to keep doing well is a recipe for death. Now, my big question from this point on is, where does the talent go and how does the schedule change? There's going to be talent changes. There's going to need to be new announcers, new people on pit road, other people maybe coming in or switching networks. It's going to be interesting to see a media silly season for once. And also the schedule changes. I'm assuming that NBC is going to want to keep the race at Indianapolis on their networks, no matter where on the schedule it is. I'm assuming that Fox is going to want to keep the Coke 600. I don't know what that means for when they would start or finish the season. And I'm also assuming that if there's any street races, NBC or Fox would want that too as a big event. That's really where I'm at with it. I think there's a lot of mystery still to come with this. And I think that it's just a wait and see at this point to see if this deal pans out the way many hope it will.
Well, it's definitely interesting to see like what's going on the US side of it, because like I said, it doesn't really affect me because I just watch all the races on Premier Sports. However, the like races that Prime are going to be doing, I don't know if that means that I'll have to then watch it on Prime. I'm going to have to look into that. But if I was a fan in the US and this deal had been made for the next 7 years, which meant that for the next 7 years, I'd have to jump between 6 different platforms just to watch a bunch of races. I don't know if it'd be worth it. Unless I was like a raging NASCAR fan, I'd be like, I can't be bothered. Especially if I was going to have to pay for like different, I know that some of them are on the TV, but like Prime, for example, I don't have a monthly subscription on Prime, because I don't watch anything on Prime. So for me, I'd be like, it's just not worth it. Like, I just couldn't be bothered, which makes his point there about how it would affect like the younger fans. I just don't have the energy to be just jumping around. So I'm kind of glad that I am outside the US and I'm just watching it on one streaming platform. But I can see how it's affecting everybody else. There are pros to it, cons to it. I feel like there's more pros for actual NASCAR than the fans watching it. Like NASCAR's side, they get a shit ton of money. Like, it's great for them. Fan side, like I can see it. It's a bit annoying. But anyway, it's interesting to see. I didn't know that there were going to be 6 different streaming like platforms for it. So that is crazy to me. But I did enjoy that video anyway, so thank you to my Patreon members for requesting this video. And with that being said, if you have any other videos that you'd like me to react to, drop them in the comments. I'm working my way through everybody's suggestions at the moment. If you did want to check out any of my other socials or become a Patreon member and get early access to videos like this or top priority over your suggestions, then you can do all of that down below. But I hope you enjoyed today's reaction, and I will catch you next time for the next one. Bye.